Hey there, guys. Good to be back with you again. We've got the Cleveland Naps of the New York Highlanders here. Cleveland are in second place now, a half game behind the Athletics. Philadelphia is on a one-game losing streak. Just looking back here, they haven't played yet. This is May 15th, 1908. So we'll see how they do later on. They play against who? They play against Chicago. That'll be in 2 days. The Naps are only a half game out. If they can win this one against New York, they could see themselves launched into first place, which is kind of against all expectations. This is the 26th game of the season for the Naps. Also, this time the 28th game for the Highlanders. New York has lost 10 in a row. I've said it before. I'll say it again. This is not a good New York Yankees/Highlanders team. This is probably one of the worst that they've ever had, if not the worst. Here is Clark, who rolls a 66 for 0. Josh Clark, I should say. They have Bemis playing catcher today for the Naps. Second roll for him is a 33 for a 2, and he triples off of Jack Chesbro right off the bat. That'll bring up Bill Bradley. So there's a runner on at third base for the Naps right away. Chesbro's got a 2-4 record, 2.89 ERA, but poor record and the 283 batted against average. The roll here for Bradley is an 11, so that'll be a 0. And the next roll for him ends up being a 13 for a 6. Now, there is a chance that he gets a home run, but the first roll is a 63. It's out of the range. That'll be a double for Bill Bradley, and, of course, that scores the run. And it's 1-0 for Cleveland right away. And here comes Napoleon hitting 276, 10 men driven in. He rolls a 26 for a 27, ground ball to third. It'll be Moriarty making the play, throwing to first, one away. Here now is George Stovall, 1-0 Naps here, top of the first, just getting this underway. Stovall rolls a 51 for an A. That's a comebacker over to Chesbro, throws to first for the out. Bradley moves up to third, and there's 2 away. Here now Bill Hinchman. And the roll is a 32 for a 26. It's a ground ball over to second baseman Niles, who throws to first for the out. And so Chesbro gets out of that one, but he does give up a run, and it's a 1-0 lead for Cleveland, and we've only began. Here now is Harry Niles leading this off for the Highlanders. He rolls a 24 for a 13 and strikes out, 1 away. Neil Ball comes up next. Glenn Liebhardt on the mound here for Cleveland, 1-3 his record, 2.92 ERA. The roll is a 16 for a 26 as the ground ball over to Napoleon, who throws to first. There are 2 away. Here now, Wee Willie Keeler. And Keeler rolls a 22 for a 7. That's a single to right field, and that'll bring up Charlie Hemphill. Hemphill hitting 223, just like everybody else here in 1908, not hitting so well. And his roll is a 14 for a 43. There's a little E roll. It's a 51 out of the range. So it's the fly ball over to center field, and Birmingham has that for the out. And we go to the top of the second inning. George Perring comes up there now for Cleveland. Perring hitting 195, and he's hitting 6th. His roll is an 11 for a 0. And the next roll is a 24 for a 6, and that'll be a double for Perring. That'll help that average a little bit, and that'll bring up Joe Birmingham. So Perring on at second base. Here comes Birmingham. He's driven in 9. And his roll is a 55 for a 9. That's going to be a base hit. But unfortunately for Perry, he is thrown out of the plate. Good throw by Hemphill in center field over to Kleinow, and there's 1 away. Birmingham makes second base on that after that throw home. And here comes Harry Bemis. Harry with a chance to drive 1 in. He rolls a 32 for a 26. Ground ball, second base. Niles on to first. There's 2 away. And here comes Glenn Liebhardt. He rolls a 13 for a 13 and strikes out, and we go to the bottom of the second inning. Jake Stahl will lead this off here for the Highlanders, down 1-0. Stahl rolls a 65 for a 35. There is a little E-roll. It's a 64 out of the range, so it's a pop-up over to the left side, and Bradley has that for the out, 1 away. Hal Chase comes up there next. Hal Chase, not exactly our favorite player, rolls a 23 for a 32, fly ball to right field. And Hinchman has that for the out. There are 2 gone. And here is Red Kleinow. Red rolls a 31 for a 13 and strikes out. And we go to the top of the third inning. Still a 1-0 game in favor of Cleveland. Cleveland has had all the base hits, has had all the runners, and has had the only run. Here comes Josh Clark, who's hitting 390, leadoff hitter, 475 on base percentage, 429 slugging. He's a good hitter, but he rolls a 24 for a 13 and strikes out. That's strikeout number 2 for Chesbro. Immediately following him now, Bill Bradley, hitting 217. Rolls a 41 for a 28. Ground ball over to ball. It's short. He throws to first, 2 away. And here comes Napoleon. He should be the star of this team, hitting a lowly 274. And he rolls a 12 for a 24. There's a little E-roll. Ends up being a 24, just missing the range. Ground ball over to Neil Ball, who throws over to first. And we go to the bottom of the third inning. And here he is, George Moriarty. George Moriarty, of course, playing in the place of... what's his name? Let me look it up really quick. This guy right here, Whit Conroy. Conroy probably should be the starter, but of course he's hitting like 110. So we have Moriarty out there. He's hitting 263 for New York. He rolls a 54 for a 45. There is a little E-roll. It's a 16, so that's within the range. It's going to be an error charge to the shortstop pairing. So pairing lets that one get by him. And that puts a runner on first base here for the Highlanders. And that brings up Jack Chesbro, who, of course, is going to bunt. So this is the name of the game. You try to bunt, and the roll's a 12 for a 25. The little E rolls a 21, and that doesn't go in Cleveland's favor. That's another bunt. This one's another error. This one is on Liebhard. There'll be runners on at first and second with nobody out here, bottom of the third, and that'll bring up Harry Niles. And you want to have Niles swing away pretty much no matter what. The roll is a 56 for a 34. It's a pop-up left side. Bradley's got that for the out, 1 away, and that'll bring up Neil Ball. He's hitting 253. I think you bunt with him, try to get to Keeler. Let's see what happens. Rolls a 55 for an 8, so it's a pretty good idea. It's a bunt back to Liebhart, who throws over to Napoleon covering at first, and the runners move up. 2 gone, and here's Wee Willie Keeler now, 2 in scoring position, bottom of the third. The roll is a 35 for a 14, so he takes his base on a walk by Liebhart. That's the 12th walk this season given up by Glenn. That'll bring up Charlie Hemphill. Base is loaded, bottom of the third, 1-0 Cleveland with the lead. And his roll is a 64 for a 13. And so Liebhart was able to get his number. Third strikeout of the game for Liebhart, and we go to the top of the 4th inning. Still a 1-0 game in favor of the of Cleveland, and here comes George Stovall, and you can see why the Highlanders are frustrating to play with. Stovall rolls a 41 for a 28, ground ball over to Ball, who throws to first, 1 away. Bill Hinchman now comes up. Hinchman rolls a 25 for a 9. It's a pop-up left side, and it'll be wrong team. Moriarty making the play, 2 away. And here's George Perring. Perring rolls a 44 for an 8. It's a single to left center field, and that's hit number 5 for Cleveland, and that'll bring up Joe Birmingham with the runner on at first. Birmingham's roll is a 24 for a 13, and down he goes. That's strikeout number 3 for Jack. And we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Still 1-0 Cleveland. Here's Jake Stahl. Jake rolls a 22 for an 8. It's a ground ball over to the shortstop Herring. He makes the play this time on to first, 1 away. Here's Hal Chase. Chase rolls a 54 for a 45. Fly ball right field. Hinchman's got that for the out. There's 2 away. And here is Red Kleinow. Rolls a 21 for a 30. Fly ball left field. And it's Clark there making the catch. And we go to the top of the 5th. Harry Bemis leads this off for Cleveland. He rolls a 35 for a 22, changed to an 18. That's going to be an easy error on Ball, the shortstop. First error of the game charged to the Highlanders, and that brings up Glenn Liebhart. Only a 1-0 lead for the Naps, and so Glenn, of course, going to bunt. His roll is a 46 for a 13. That's a foul strike. This isn't like Diamond Mine where the guy strikes out and all sorts of awful things happen to the bunter. Next roll is a 16 for a 28. It's a bunt back to Chesbro. He throws over to Niles covering at first. Bemis makes it over to second, and there's a runner in scoring position now with 1 out here top of the 5th, and that'll bring up Josh Clark again. Clark has a triple and struck out, hitting 387. Driven in 11, and he rolls a 52 for a 27. Ground ball over to the third baseman, Moriarty, who throws to first. 2 away, and Bemis has to stay at second. Here now, Bill Bradley with another chance to drive in the run, and he rolls a 24 for a 13. Chesbro with his 4th strikeout, and just like that, we'll go to the bottom of the 5th inning. It's going to be George Moriarty up there. Moriarty, so far, 250 is average. Rolls a 54 for a 45. Fly ball right field. Hinchman's got that, 1 away. Jack Chesbro rolls a 64 for a 13 and strikes out. Liebhart has matched Chesbro. 4 strikeouts now for Liebhart, and here's Niles with 2 men out. Rolls a 56 for a 34. That's going to be a pop-up over to the shortstop. Perring has that for the out, and we go to the top of the 6th inning. It's going to be Napoleon here to lead this off for Cleveland. So far today, 0 for 2. 2 ground outs. And he rolls a 54 for a 45. There is a little E-roll. And the dice go flying in the wrong direction. The roll finally is a 45. It's out of the range. Fly ball over to right field. Keeler's got that for the out. There's one away atop of the 6th. George Stovall now comes up, and he rolls an 11 for a 0. Next roll is a 55 for a 4. There is a chance at a home run. This rolls a 23, so it doesn't happen. That'll be a double there for Stovall, and so he ends up planted at second base with one out. And here comes Bill Hinchman with a chance to drive a man in. Top of the 6th inning, it's a 1-0 ball game. Let's see what Hinchman can do, and he rolls a 46 for a 13, and that's strikeout number 5 for Chesbro. 2 away, and here comes Pairing. And George rolls a 34 for a 44. It's a fly ball over to center field, and Hemphill's got that for the out. And like that, we'll go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Still 1-0 Cleveland, and here comes Neil Ball. Ball comes up there, rolls a 26 for a 27. Ground ball left side. Bradley throws to first. There's one away. Here's Wee Willie Keeler. And look at that. He rolls a 66 for a 0. Keeler hitting 257 with no home runs, and this is a 44 for a 2, and so he gets a triple, and that'll be the second hit of the game for the Highlanders. There's a runner on a third base with only one out. The infield will come in, and here's Hemphill, and the question is, do you swing away with him or do you bunt? Keeler, not necessarily fast, but I think you can't really take many chances here when you've lost 10 games in a row. Hemphill's going to bunt. The rolls a 36 for a 33. There is a little E-roll. There's a prayer that this ends up within the range. It doesn't. It's a 32. It's a foul strike, and we'll do it again. Roll this time to 61 for a 40, and that's a good bunt back to Liebhardt. His only play first base, and the run scores, and it's a 1-1 ball game just like that. 2 away, and here's Jake Stahl. So 1-1 the score. Up comes Stahl, and the roll is a 55 for a 9. That's a pop-up over to the left side, and third baseman Bradley's got that for the out, and we go to the top of the 7th. 1-1 ball game. Here is Joe Birmingham for Cleveland. 6 hits for the Naps, only 2 for the Highlanders, but it's not the hits that count, it's the runs. Birmingham leading off rolls a 33 for an 8, and there's a single for Joe. That'll bring up Harry Bemis, and probably going to bunt with him. And the roll is a 13 for a 38. It's a bunt over to the left side. And interesting play as Moriarty makes the play, throws over to first for the out, but Birmingham able to round second and go to third. Not sure if I fully understand what happened with this one. This is one of those where you kind of have to use your imagination, I suppose, to try to figure out exactly what's going on with this play. So that's a runner on a third base here for the Naps with only one out. The infield will come in, and it is Liebhardt up there, the pitcher. We're not going to pinch hit for him, so he's going to bunt, and here we go. Roll is a 62 for a 12, and that's a pop-up over to Chesbro. He makes the catch and throws to Moriarty for the double play. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning, 1-1 game. Here is Hal Chase. Chase rolls a 26 for a 30, fly ball left field, and Clark has that for the out, one away. Here's Red Kleinow. Red rolls a 22 for an 8. That's going to be a single, but then he's caught stealing. Little C gets him. 2 away, and here's George Moriarty. Of course, in these close games, you might say, well, why don't you not have him steal? I would have him steal here. You got to get a guy in scoring position. Here is Moriarty, who rolls a 51 for a 9. That's a pop-up left side, and it's Bradley who makes the catch. And we go to the top of the 8th inning. Josh Clark leads this off for Cleveland. 1-1 ball game, tight game. Roll is a 26 for a 27. Ground ball, third base. Moriarty on to first, one gone. Bill Bradley now. He rolls a 12 for a 25. It's a ground ball. Not quite yet. We've got to do the little E-roll. Getting ahead of myself. It's a 34. So it is a ground ball over to Niles, who throws to first. 2 away. Here comes Napoleon, who's 0 for 3. That average sinking. And he rolls a 63 for a 31. Fly ball over to Hemphill in center. And we go to the bottom of the 8th. Jack Chesbro will lead this one off for the hometown Highlanders. His roll is a 15 for a 9. Pop up left side, and Bradley's got that for the out, one away. Here now, Harry Niles. He rolls a 51 for a 10. That's a single to center field, and that'll bring up Neil Ball. So runner on at first base. Here comes Ball, and I think we're going to bunt with him. Rolls a 44 for an 8, so it's a good bunt back to Liebhardt. Throws over to Napoleon covering at first. Niles moves up to second. There's 2 away. Here comes wee Willie Keeler. Keeler so far today 2 for 2, a single and a triple and a walk. The roll is a 43 for a 29. Comebacker over to Liebhardt, who throws to first, and we go to the top of the 9th inning. It's a tight one. 1-1 the score, and here comes George Stovall. Stovall so far today 1 for 3 with a double. His roll is a 15 for a 10, and that'll be a single to center field. That'll bring up Bill Hinchman. So runner on at first base for the Naps. Hinchman comes up. Stovall's fast, and the question is, so do you want to do hit and run? Do you want to bunt? Stovall only has a 10, not an 11, so I think we play it safe. Playing it safe here means bunting, so we're going to bunt here with Hinchman because it's 1908. And the roll, almost a 16, changed to a 14 in the last second. There's a little E. Little E roll is a 12, and so it's going to be an error. That changes to 22. That is a bad throw by the catcher, Kleinow. And that is a poor throw to first base that allows both runners to take an extra base. And that's a really unfortunate turn of events here for the Highlanders. And so let me try again here to get this screenshot here. So 2 runners on base here. There are no outs here, top of the 9th inning. Hinchman had a little bit of good luck with it. I guess that's the reason why you bunt. And, of course, that counts as a sacrifice, not as an out. And that'll bring up George Paring. The infield comes in. The question here now is, do you swing away with Paring or do you have him bunt? I think you swing away here. I think that's the correct thing to do. Of course, the infield will come in. And the roll is a 56 for a 34. But there is a little E roll. It's a 32 just out of the range. And that's a good pop-up over to Ball, the shortstop, for the first out. 1 away. Infield comes in here again for Joe Birmingham. He's hitting 255. 9 men driven in. All he has to do is make contact. You know what we're going to do? Let's bunt with him. Let's have some fun. Rolls a 42 for a 13, and that doesn't quite work. And so that's a strike, and the runner is out at home. And this is what happens when you try to force the issue. So there are 2 men out here now in the top of the 9th inning. What seemed to be a sure thing has turned into anything but. Hinchman now at third base, 2 men out. Birmingham still up there. And his roll is a 55 for a 9. That's a single, and that will score the runner. Birmingham thrown out trying to advance to second base. And so it does work out for Joe in the end. That's an interesting turn of events. So Birmingham gets the base hit. This turns into a 2-1 lead for the Naps. And now New York is down to its final 3 outs. Charlie Hemphill will lead this off. So it ends up working, though Birmingham was still a little bit too greedy as he tried to advance to second on that one. Hemphill will lead off the bottom of the 9th inning for New York. Liebhardt going for the complete game, and the first roll is a 44 for an 8. That's a single right off the bat. That'll bring up Jake Stahl, and Stahl's going to bunt. So let's see what happens here. Rolls a 33 for a 0. They may regret having him bunt. Next roll is a 46 for a 6. So it's a good bunt over to the left side. Bradley throws over Napoleon covering a first. Hemphill moves over to second. There's 1 away. And here comes Hal Chase. Chase hitting 225. Poor on-base percentage and a poor slugging percentage, but you figure if there's anybody you want to try to drive in that run, it'd be Hal. Chase rolls a 54 for a 45. Fly ball to right field. Hinchman's there for the out. There's 2 away. And here comes Kleinow, the last chance. So the question here is, was it right for us to bunt or not? That's the big question as always. Here's Kleinow, and he rolls a 36 for a 33. There is a little E roll. Final one of the game. Well, maybe not. It's an 11, and that's changed to 17. And that's an error on the right fielder, Hinchman, and that allows the run to score. And Kleinow is safe at first base. So this game has featured a little bit of everything, all sorts of errors by both teams. Kleinow ends up getting it done for the hometown Highlanders, and that'll bring up none other than George Moriarty. It's hitting 227, is driven in 4. His roll is a 61 for a 13. He strikes out, and we go to the top of the 10th. So excitement here in the late innings. 1 run for both teams, and here comes Harry Bemis for the Cleveland Naps. Bemis rolls a 35 for a 22, changed to 16. It's a fly ball center field. Hemphill's got that for the out, 1 away. And here comes Glenn Liebhardt. Question is, do you leave him in or not? I say we leave him in. Rolls a 46 for 13. He strikes out 2 away, and here comes Clark. Clark's 1 for 4 with that triple. Scored a run way back when. His roll is a 63 for 31. Fly ball to center field. Hemphill's got that for the out. We go to the bottom of the 10th. And here is Jack Chesbro. Chesbro's done a pretty good job at holding the naps at bay, though he's a D right now. We'll leave him in for the time being. Rolls a 46 for 13. Strike on number 6 for Liebhardt. There's 1 away. Harry Niles now. Rolls a 65 for a 35. It's a foul out left side. Bradley's got that. 2 away. And here's Neil Ball. He rolls a 53 for a 19. That's going to be a line drive this time over to Bradley for the 3rd out. And we go to the top of the 11th. Here again is Bill Bradley. Bradley 1 for 4 here for Cleveland. Had that double driving in a run at the beginning of this game. I thought this game was going to be a blowout, and it wasn't. Bradley rolls a 45 for a 14. He takes his base, and that'll bring up Napoleon. Bradley's fast. The question is, do you have an 11? He does, and so we will have him hit and run. These guys got to be getting tired here. Got to wonder about Chesbro, who's given up 9 hits and 1 walk. Rolls a 63 for a 31. That's great. That's a base hit for Napoleon. Bradley goes over to 3rd. And, boy, that's a real key roll. That's one of those few times where we did the right thing by hitting and running. We've had a lot of instances here where we did the wrong thing. Top of the 11th inning, and it's Napoleon who gets it done. That'll bring up George Stovall. The infield comes in. And I think we just swing away with him. This is another one of those times where you say, well, we could bunt. Napoleon's not very fast. He doesn't have that 11. So if we hit and run, we might run into like a 14 or a 13. We don't want to do that. Stovall's only driven in 6, but let's see if he can do it here. There's nobody out, so if he does, unless he hits into double play, which I think he's just done, as he rolls a 12, if barring that, you could get something going. It says Stovall hits into 12, and it's a ground ball over to the second baseman, Niles, who throws home, and they get the lead runner, and Napoleon's going to be safe at second, and that's a fielder's choice. And so it was another key play. That's why you have that infield in, and this game is going to continue. Stovall does not find a way to drive in the runner. And this is what happens when you play with dead ball era seasons. This is what 1908's like. Here's Bill Hinchman now. Runners on at 1st and 2nd. Chesbro has really done a good job staying in this one. Hinchman's rolls a 64 for a 22, changed to a 20, and that's an error on Niles, the second baseman. And so that loads the bases here with 1 out in the top of the 11th inning. As much as I would love to bring Chesbro out of this ballgame at this point, I'm not sure there's much of a point in doing so. I mean, a lot of this damage has been done by errors. Infield comes in. Here comes pairing. And now the question is, again, do you bunt? Napoleon's not fast, but, I've been over the boards. It doesn't really matter. What matters is what pairing can do. So we will bunt with the bases loaded. Try to get that run across. Roll is a 36 for 33. That's not good. Here's a little E-roll. I'm pretty sure this is a double play. 51 is the result. No, it's not. It's a bunt over to the first baseman, Chase, who throws home for the force out to Kleinow. And so pairing can't get it done. And that'll bring up Birmingham with 2 men out. That takes away the bunt. Base is still loaded. So this has been one heck of a extra inning ball game. Here comes Joe Birmingham. Birmingham is 3 for 4 today. He singled in that run at the top of the 9th inning, giving the Naps the run that I thought was going to hold up. Here he comes again. We'll try that again because that die jumped out of the holder, and the roll's a 43 for a 29. It's a comebacker over to Liebhardt, to Chesbro, who throws to first for the out, and that'll do it. We go to the bottom of the 11th. It'll be Wee Willie Keeler up here now for New York, we'll leave Liebhardt in the game, see what he can do. And, of course, Keeler rolls a 33 for a 7, promptly singles to right, and that'll bring up Hemphill. Does Keeler have the 11? He does, and so we're going to do a little hit and run here with Hemphill instead of the sacrifice. Rolls a 25 for an 11, and that's a pretty key hit there for Charlie. That puts runners on at 2nd and 3rd as Charlie gets the stolen base. And once again, we have that question is, okay, so what do you do? Do you remove the pitcher? And I think we might leave Liebhardt in, have him pitch to Stahl. I think we'll leave him in. Question is, do you bunt or swing away? Stahl not having a great time making content, so I think we will bunt. Let's see what happens here. Rolls a 24 for a 13, and that's a strike, and that forces Keeler coming in at home, and so Stahl doesn't get it done, and we've had that for the second time here today. And that's one of the perils of trying to bunt too much in 1908. We've had a lot of exciting plays at the plate, and that means that Hemphill will move up, and the infield comes in again, and I think they'll take the bunt off since Stahl wasn't able to get that one down. Rolls a 45 for a 14, and so that's a base on balls, and that'll bring up Hal Chase. Infield comes in again. Chase up there now. Rolls it's a 62 for a 12, and that's going to be a double play. I'm sorry, no, that's a ground ball over to second. Napoleon throws home, and they get the force out, and that means that Chase will be safe at first, but there are now 2 men out. Runners on at first and second. And so the Highlanders, once again, are unable to score the run. That'll bring up Red Klein out. And Reds rolls a 61 for a 32. It's just a fly ball over to right field. Hinchman's got it for the out, and we'll go to the top of the 12th. 2-2 ball game, and now you can see the reason why I left Liebhardt in there, because he's going to be due up second in the inning. We'll have Bemis hit. He rolls a 31 for a 36. It's going to be a 40. It'll be a foul ball. Next roll is a 36 for a 33. There is a little E roll. And it's a 66. Well, that wastes one. And so it's going to be a pop-up over to second. Niles has that for the out, one away. And here comes Glenn. Liebhardt's going to come out of this game finally, and we're going to put, let's see here. Terry Turner will come in as the pinch hitter. So here comes Turner, hitting 167, only 6 plate appearances. And he rolls a 15 for an 11. So Terry gets it done and gets himself into scoring position. And this might be a key moment in this game. Top of the 12th inning, Chesbro's really got very little left. But Chesbro's is due up second in the next inning, so we're going to ask him for a little bit more. That brings up Josh Clark, who's 1 for 5. He's been hitting very well this season, but has not been able to get it done today other than that triple to lead the game off. Clark rolls a 23 for a 32. It's a fly ball to right. Keeler's got it, 2 away, and here comes Bill Bradley. And Bill's rolls a 63 for a 31. Fly ball to center. Hemphill's got it for the out. We go to the bottom of the 12th. Turner will come out. And let's see who we can put in, huh? I think in real life, you actually would have Addy Joss come into this game. But this isn't real life, so we're not going to worry about this. Lattimore's supposed to be a starter, but I'm probably not going to use him as a starter. So we'll have Lattimore come in. Bill comes in, first appearance of the season. He'll face George Moriarty. And the roll is a 51 for a 9. That's going to be a pop-up over to the left side. Bradley's got that for the out, 1 away. And finally, Jack Chesbro will come out of this ball game. He's going to be replaced, I think, by Wood Conroy. So there's Conroy hitting 128. I exaggerated a little bit. I said he was hitting 110. He's not quite doing that yet. Wood rolls a 25 for a 10, so he gets the base hit. How about that? And that'll bring up Harry Niles, runner on at first. Conroy does have an 11, so we will hit and run. And the roll is a 62 for a 12. Good hit and run ground ball over to Napoleon, throws to first. Conroy moves up to second. 2 out, and here's Neil Ball, who can send us home if he gets a base hit. He's 0 for 3, sacrificed twice. And he rolls a 63 for a 31. Fly ball center field, and it'll be Birmingham making the catch for the out, and we go to the top of the 13th. And I guess New York needs a pitcher, doesn't it? Let's take a look and see what we can figure out here. I think Slow Joe Doyle will be the pitcher here for the Highlanders, and he gets to face Napoleon to lead this off. Napoleon 1 for 5 today. Rolls an 11 for a 0. Next roll is a 61 for a 6. There is an outside chance at a home run here, but the roll is a 21, not within the range. So it's a double for Napoleon, and that'll bring up George Stovall, runner on at second base. And that's hit number 12 for the Cleveland Naps. And Stovall's just going to swing away. We're not going to worry too much about bunting. Roll is a 66. I had to do a double take on that for a 0. That'll score the runner. Next roll is a 44 for a 2. And that's a triple for Stovall. So Stovall comes up there with a runner on at second base and gets the big triple. And that makes this a 3-2 lead in favor of Cleveland. How about that? So Stovall gets it done, and that'll bring up Bill Hinchman with nobody out, top of the 13th inning. And the infield will come in, try to cut that run off. Hinchman rolls a 23 for a 32. It's a fly ball to right field. Keeler's got that for the out, and the run scores. It's a 4-2 game, and here comes George Paring. Doyle couldn't get it done. Paring rolls a 51 for a 9. It's a pop-up over to the left side. Moriarty's got that for the out, 2 away. And here comes Birmingham, 2 out, top of the 13th, 4-2 Cleveland with the lead. Birmingham rolls a 54 for a 45 to fly ball to right field. Keeler's got that one, and we go to the bottom of the 13th. So Bill Lattimore will try to get the victory here. He faces wee Willie Keeler, and we'll see if the New York team has any sort of miracles up its sleeve. Keeler's rolls a 45 for a 14. That'll be a walk, and that'll bring up Hemphill. Keeler does have an 11, so we will hit and run. And the roll's a 33 for a 7. How about that? It's a good hit and run base hit, and that sends Keeler over to third. Hemphill now the runner on at first. And bottom of the 13th with nobody out, the Highlanders are cooking. Now is the time to ask about strategy, because you could bunt with Stahl. Remember, Stahl last time up bunted unsuccessfully with a runner on at third base and ended up walking. That ruined the chance for the Highlanders to win the game. You could bunt with him as the infield comes in, or you could just swing away. You could also hit and run. Hemphill is fast. I think we'll call for the hit and run. This is unusual, but we'll give this a try. Let's see what happens. The roll's at 26 for a 29. It's a good hit and run ground ball. Lattimore has it, has to throw to first. There's 1 away. Keeler has to stay at third. So now there are 2 in scoring position here, bottom of the 13th inning. And who's up? But Hal Chase. Hal Chase comes up there. Normally, I didn't intentionally walk him, but he hasn't shown that he's able to hit the ball today. He's 0 for 5. Only 6 RBIs this season after 111 plate appearances. And the roll is a 43 for a 29, and that's a comebacker over to Lattimore. Lattimore throws over to first base for the out, and there are 2 away, and that will bring up Kleinow. And this really has got to be it for the Highlanders. So here comes Kleinow. New York has had 9 hits, and as opposed to 13 for Cleveland. 4-2 ball game, 2 men on. Kleinow will swing away. They'll pitch to him. It's a 61 for a 32. Fly ball to right field. Hinchman's got that for the out, and this game is over. So there you go. Final score in this one is Cleveland 4, New York 2. This has been one of the more unusual games I've seen, and that does it. So the Naps are able to put this one to bed after leading twice early on. And New York has some problems. They've lost their 11th in a row. Hope you enjoyed that one. This was definitely a marathon. It was a lot of fun to play. I'll talk with you later. Bye-bye.